So we're just up in the S690 combine. I'm having trouble with the mass flow sensor. So I'm just trying to check. So this is the mass flow sensor here. As the grain comes up the clean grain elevator, it throws it against this sensor and then it can kind of tell. So we're looking for clearance. There's supposed to be a 1/2 inch clearance there. So I'll have to back that chain up and see what that looks like there. But I wouldn't mind, I could put maybe a kit in there to decrease that space too. But I did notice on this mass flow sensor, it's got a build up there. So I'm gonna clear all that off and see if that'll help too. Okay, just back up here in the grain tank. So I cleaned that mass flow sensor. It doesn't appear that there's any cracks, anything wrong there, so hopefully. And then we rolled that chain, and it says 1/2 inch or 13 mil. I mean, it looks relatively close, but I definitely, for small oil seeds, I'm like, man, this doesn't seem like, because that just goes down into the tank there. So the grain gets there till it fills up, and then the auger takes it up from there. So I'm gonna try two things. I cut this thin aluminum. It was an old sign I had. And then I'm gonna fit it in here. I got some carriage bolts. So I drilled 2 holes there. And then I just fit this in here. Let's hope them. Okay, so there's my other. So I gotta get that to fit. And then I may drill 1 hole like here to see if I can push this plate down and actually change the pitch of it. And it'll change the clearance above that paddle. So once I get the back up tight, there will be some clearance there, of course, which is what it needs. And then the only other thing that I'm thinking about trying is I took one of these and I bent it. And then I'm gonna put it right here. And so when that grain comes up, it has to come through here. It's not gonna just spill over and dribble down there. It's gonna come and this thing is supposed to be turning like at 400 and some RPM, that chain. So, I mean, it's not moving too slow, but I wanna definitely direct it to hit the mass flow sensor. And if that doesn't work, well, whatever, take that off. I don't think I'm really restricting any flow. It's no different than if grain was piled up in here. I'm just hoping to redirect it, not restrict it. We'll give that a try. I did want to install some carriage bolts just so that flapper wasn't hitting anything. So I just used my, Dremel, and then I just kind of squared up the corners. And then that way when I put it in there, I'll be able to tighten it up from the outside too. So nothing too fancy. Okay, so I got them holes squared off, and then I got to put them in there at the same time. I had to roll the paddle chain so it wasn't up at the top. And then I just taped them so them carriage bolts would stop falling out of there, which a guy would be better off like gluing them in there maybe or something, but should be able to fit this in there. I'll bolt it, so I'll have to do that off camera, and then I'll kind of show you when I get close to done. Okay, so we added this bottom deflector plate, bolted it through just with a thin 1/4 inch so they're not sticking where the paddle can rub them on the back. And then we just drilled 1 hole straight through here, and we stacked washers as shims. And so then you can see how much we tightened up that gap there, right? And then there's them carriage bolts on the back, so again, nothing will run. So we did end up having to drill 3 holes and 2 inside there, but relatively easy. So we're just gonna finish buttoning it back up and then take it out to the field and give it a go. Looks like the yield monitor, we're just clearing up this, but the yield monitor is acting totally